All right, guys, welcome to Team TNT mock presentation training. This is our first mock presentation training that we're doing. It's just an idea that I had to help get the duplication happening within the team. And it's all about the business presentation, the lifestyle presentation, we like to call it. So what do you do when you are starting an event and you need to start a lifestyle event? Well, you've seen a few different styles. So Linda on a Thursday night likes to talk about what people are dissatisfied in their life or in their jobs. So what she'll do, and this is one version, is she'll actually write up and get people to shout out what they don't like in their everyday life. So they might have things like bosses or commuting. What else do people hate? You know, no kid time, capped income, you know, and she'll get people to yell out all the things that they don't like in their life, you know, and that starts getting them to think about, you know, the negatives, I suppose, that's happening in their life. And then she says, righto, well, if you had a magic wand, you know, and you owned your own life, what things would you like to see in your life? And then, of course, people like choices, more experiences, more money, you know, more family time. That's a huge one, especially for the mums, to see the kids more. Put time there. Time freedom. So this is just one way you can start your event, okay? So you run through all the negatives to get, you know, to sort of tap into people's pain, and then you run through all the positives and say, well, you know, if you had that magic wand and if Juice Plus could be that vehicle to helps allow you to get all these things, then what would that look like, okay? So that's one way how you can lead into the business presentation. The other way how we lead in, which most people, if you joined us on Thursday night, would have seen my opening. I love to just dive straight in, thank everybody for attending, and then basically start talking about the products. So we talk about the power of fruits and vegetables. We talk about what's happening in the world. You know, we're getting fatter, we're getting sicker, we're getting more tired. And, you know, like Juice Plus is a solution to help with all that. You know, we've got 30 fruits, vegetables and berries in a capsule, in a vegan capsule, you know, that's vine ripened without all the nasty chemicals. If you were to say nothing else and you just left it at that, and then you went into the shakes and said there's 40 different plants in here, you know, it's liquid nutrition, you can have it as a meal replacement or a snack, and then the only other product that we have is our chewables, which is 17 different fruits, vegetables and 17 different fruits and veggies in a chewable version for kids. And then what you could do is say, well, this is why I got started on Juice Plus. So always share your story when you come up the front. Doesn't matter what section or what part of the presentation you come into. Just share your story, why you started on Juice Plus, why you love it, and why you will continue to take it forever. And then what we do after we talk about the products is we get other people to share their stories, you know, in the crowd as well. And I'm going to get a couple of you to share your stories tonight before we log off. But before we do that, I want us to talk about the first part of the presentation. And how we go into the first part of the presentation is basically we say, you know, there is a business side to Juice Plus. And what we love about it is, you know, the simplicity of this business model and how everybody is here is to help you succeed. Everyone wants to see you grow and learn and be the best versions of yourself. But we do get some people and we do get some objections along the way. And one of those objections is this a pyramid scheme? Okay, and if you have a look at any organization, you just draw a triangle. If you can draw a triangle, fantastic. And you just let them know. If you think of any organization, they're all shaped like a pyramid. It doesn't matter who you work for, Coles, Woolworths, an accounting firm, the army, the government, they are all shaped like this because you actually need a person at the top making all the big decisions, directing that company, yeah? This actual business structure works, okay? But pyramid schemes actually were banned in the 70s. And what an actual pyramid scheme was say we had some pens, and I sold the pens to MG for $5 and MG sold them to Jules for $10 and Jules sold them to Regina for $20 and then Regina sold them to Nat for $30. All of a sudden, Nat's got a whole heap of pens that are overpriced that she can't actually sell to the consumer. That's what the old pyramid network marketing schemes used to be, and they were made illegal in the 70s. You can put that bit in your presentation. I leave it out, but if you want to mention it, you can. But basically, I just say, look, all structures, all companies are shaped like a pyramid. You've got the CEO at the top making the big bucks. And then you've got, the general managers, the area managers, the line managers, the supervisors, and then you've got, the people down the bottom who are like, your checkout chicks or your trolley boys and stuff like that. So if we're talking about Woolworths, the chances of this checkout girl making it to CEO, very, very slim. Yeah, unless she sleeps her way to the top at a Christmas party or something like that. But yeah, like you can move up to probably the next position or even the position after that. But what happens when you move to these positions? It's very cutthroat. You're competing with, hundreds of other people that want the same position. And it gets very bitchy and backstabbing and stuff like that. So what I love about our business, it's the reverse. So it's a reverse triangle. And everybody comes in at the same level. Doesn't matter what qualifications you have, what your background is, how much money you have in your bank account. It doesn't matter. Everyone starts at the bottom and everyone has the opportunity to make it to the top of our company, which is called National Marketing Director. Okay? And the beauty of this business is you can't make it to the top of the company without helping other people. Yeah, it's a teaching business. It's a coaching business. And you can't make it through without helping other people. And that's what I love about this business model. It's very, very smart. So that's the first objection that we get. And then sometimes the other objection that we get from people is, I don't know a lot of people. Okay. And you don't need to know a lot of people. So when I first came into this business, Fee introduced it to me. And then I brought Sabrina into the business and I taught her very well. Okay. And then Sabrina brought Tales in and taught her really well. And then Tales brought Sarah into the business and taught Sarah really well. And then Sarah brought Matt into the business and taught Matt really well. And it goes on and on. Yeah. So the only person I knew originally was Fee. I didn't even know Sabrina. She came on my team. Her upline dropped out and then she became direct to me. And then all of a sudden you pick up all these new friends and new Juice Plus family members in your business. So you don't need to know loads of people. And you don't have to go out there and hunt down all your friends and chase them down or anything like that. So that's the first part of the business presentation, guys. And that's as simple as it needs to be. Yeah. You can add some funny things in there if you want. You can add some jokes. You can add your own flair to it. But basically, we want to get that duplication happening. So draw the pyramids and then go through the teaching circles. And that's the first part done. So what I want to see you guys do this week is actually practice that first part. And I'm going to open it up now. I'm going to get a few people to share their stories. And then I'm going to ask a few volunteers to give it a crack on actually presenting that first section of the presentation. So does anyone have any questions so far? Take yourself off mute and ask away. We're all going to be silent. Okay, cool. Who would love to share their story and then give it a go moving into that presentation? Jules, I can see you've come off mute. What do you got for us, lovely?
I've done a couple on Zoom, so I'll see how I go with this, Christine. I don't actually like doing them, so this is good practice.
Awesome.
So I was introduced to the product by Dion. She's my cousin, and I'd been watching what had been going on with her and her family and with Michael, and she was so excited about the product. And so I jumped on. I was actually looking at it for my husband and my son in particular, because they're quite, they were meat and potatoes, wouldn't look outside the square and in terms of veggies, and it was a nightmare. So I'm trying to eat healthy, and meat and potatoes were on the menu 5 nights a week. So I was hoping that I could see some changes in them, so that would help me. And within a couple of weeks, my husband's the biggest skeptic, I should point that out, by the way. He got on the product, and Dion was immediately going, oh my gosh, he goes, my business, because Dean is the biggest skeptic, and if he doesn't like this, then I'm done. But anyway, within a couple of weeks, we noticed that, I noticed immediately that my energy was up. I was sleeping so much better, and it was, I was like loving the product. Dean's a shift worker. He does 7 nights in a row every 5 weeks. You can't take him out when he's on night shift. He's rude to everybody. You can't even get a sensible conversation out of him. So it was quite, when he's on night shift, we just didn't go out, take him out. We had to go out. So we started on the products, and the second lot of 5, like after 5 weeks, I had to take him out, and he was actually sociable. He was actually talking to people, and he wasn't, grumpy with everyone. So that was when we noticed the changes in him. So we've been on the product since February, and I can now say that we have stir fry vegetables and meat, like, slices of meat, probably 3 or 4 nights a week. My son is now eating sushi and almonds and green vegetables, which at the beginning of the year just was not happening. So there's no way that I was going off the product. I'm going off the product at all. I'm a wrapped. It's just now that I'm a distributor and I'm, selling it, that makes it even better, because there's a bit of money coming in from it as well. But I was sharing the product with everybody anyway, and that's why I started with the business side of things. So in terms of, the objections about the business, it's, do you want me to do the triangle part, Christine, or go through the products?
Yeah, just do the triangle part, and the teaching circles would be great. And if you've got a bit of paper there, we can draw it out. We would love to see your drawings. Okay. So one of the biggest, objections that we hear is that, this is a pyramid scam. And I guess I was, I've heard about pyramid scams before, but I'm actually a lawyer, and I know that they were made illegal in the 70s. So I knew that it wasn't a pyramid scam. But, there's always reservations about network marketing for some, I don't know, it just has the stigma attached to it. And so I guess when you look at traditional businesses and the way so I'm just clearing my whiteboard, sorry, to draw my triangle. When you look at traditional businesses, they're all in the shape of a triangle. And at the top, you've got the head honcho. And I always remember my first job as a 14-year-old at Hungry Jack's. So I, started there, and there's, the CEO of Hungry Jack's up the top, and never get to see him, never get to meet him. And then as you come down, there was the state managers and the regional managers, the managers within our store, and shift supervisors. And I come in as a fry girl, and I got to learn, how to make burgers and flip burgers, and I got promoted to the drive-through speed team, so that was pretty cool. But I also, I was pretty lucky too, because I got to do Coco the Clown. So you got 3 hours, but there was 3 girls who wanted that Coco the Clown shift, because it was always 3 hours on a shift. You didn't have to deal with anybody except kids, and you got to muck around with them. It was really great, except there was always a competition for that position, because there was only 3 of us, and if you didn't do it one week, then you missed out. So I guess that when you look at that in terms of what's really happening in the world today, that is exactly what's happening. Every time you want a position, there's competition for each of those positions as you're moving forward. Even when you're 15 and at Hungry Jack's, everyone wants, there were 3 of us all wanting the same shifts on a Saturday, because they were the best shifts. So, and that doesn't change. I'm in the law industry now. That doesn't change. It's just that the competition gets harder. And outside influences, obviously affect that as well. So the chances of me as the fry girl going through to the CEO of Hungry Jack's or Burger King was probably unlikely. I'm a pretty intelligent sort of person, so I probably would have got to, store manager and maybe a regional manager. But, I have a family too, so, that would have stopped me from getting to the top. So I guess that's why this business was really attractive to me, because I recognised that it didn't matter who I was, what my training was, whether I was a lawyer or whether I was a PT or whether I was a fry girl at Hungry Jack's. If I could talk to people and
share my story, then I could progress through the levels to the top marketing, and this is where I do my other triangle, to the top level in this business, which is NMD. And you all come in at the same spot as a franchisee, a direct franchisee, and every person has the same opportunities to get to the top, and we celebrate each other's successes along the way. So we're you know, because there's no competition about who might get to NMD and a cap number, you know, we're proud of our teammates and our sidelines and our uplines for achieving their goals. You know, so that the negativity comes out of the business side of things. I guess one of the things that was one of the things that worried me is that I don't really have a lot of friends. I was, you know, I mean, I worked and I had work colleagues, but, you know, and I had family, and sort of I don't really know hundreds of people to make this, you know, this network thing happen. But, you know, when Dion sort of said, well, you don't need to know anybody. You only need to know, you know, a few good people, and you'll make people along the way. I was sort of a bit skeptical about that. And then she showed me, and this is where I draw my circles. She was telling me about her upline. So she'd been introduced to the business by Jess, who was a personal trainer. And then there was above her was a lady named Beck, and then there was Sabrina, and then there was Christine and Fee. And she said, I only know Jess. And she said, and now I know you. She said, you don't have to know a million people. You just have to know a few good people. And, you know, and that'll branch out, you know, as it comes. So, yeah.
Brilliant. That was awesome, honey. Well done. That was great. All right. Anyone else want to give it a crack? Thanks, Jules. That was amazing. Well done. You've nailed it. Don't make me start volunteering, people. You got to take yourselves on mute. I can see all the people that have taken their videos off as if I'm not going to choose them. So it makes me want to choose them even more. So, Carleen, I reckon I'm going to get you to have a crack, honey.
Oh, you're a monkey.
You thought you could hide. You can't hide from me.
Hello.
See how your reception goes, honey. If it's too in and out, then
I got good reception. It keeps dropping in and out.
Yeah, nah, you're gone. I'm muting you again. No good. Dung dung. What about you, Candy? You're sitting there nice and quiet. Do you want to give it a crack?
Have I got good reception, hon?
Nah, Carleen, you don't. Mute yourself again, honey. You're no good. All right, Candy.
I'll give it a go, Christine.
Yep, absolutely. Go for it.
If I disappear, it just means my phone's dying. Let me just get some paper.
Oh,
How is everyone anyway?
bit of red lighting going on there. That's a bit raunchy.
Oh, it's my Himalayan lamp. Okay, it's not my front doorstep, I promise. I had to go into my little office. So I'm back now. Hi everyone, first of all. And I'll plug myself in because my phone is dying. So Jules, first of all, that was awesome, by the way. Great stuff. Oh, here we go. So my story is I was introduced to the product. Can you hear me all right? Yep. Introduced to the product by Susie, who is my upline now. I was working in a gym and I didn't know Susie at all. Her auntie was working with my partner in the hotels, and she asked if she knew anyone who might be interested in finding out about a health product, and her auntie mentioned my name. So she walked into my gym one day, and I was a massive skeptic. Being in the fitness industry, you're thrown everything. But she showed me the product and told me about it, and I sort of said, look, just give me the links and I'll watch them and make my own decision and do my own research, which I did. And it took me a little while. It took me a few months to actually get my ass to an event. I just kept watching, as we do, and it took me a while to get to an event, and it was a freedom tour. And I saw Natalie Baldock speak and met the lovely Christine and Sabrina and all these shiny, shiny skinned people. And at this stage, that meant the world to me, because I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is infertility thing, but I had acne like I was 16, and I was slowly getting better by changing my food and minimizing dairy and gluten. So I really knew that, you know, not going on Roaccutane like the doctors wanted me to do and go back on the pill and all this other shit, I knew that nutrition was my big key. So when I looked into this product and met all these shiny, happy people, I was sold. I was like, right, if my skin can, I don't care about the health benefits, great, that's awesome. But if my skin can look like everyone's in that room, I'm trying it. So I went home and I told my partner, and he was like, oh my gosh, like, righto, try that. And I got the shipment, I started taking it, and it was really exciting because within 2 weeks, he was like, well, I think I might just try that as well. So he had a bit of FOMO. So we started taking it, and we were about to go to do Mount Everest about a month later. So every time we go to Nepal, it's every year, my partner gets sick all the time, always, you know, Nepal is his illness world. So we were on the product for about a month before we went to do our trek. And what we found within that month, I noticed a bit of change in energy. I've never lacked that. My skin was a little bit better. My anxiety was a lot better, but it was my partner. He was running these massive PBs, and every day he'd come home and go, I've run another PB. It must be that juice stuff. And again, I was like, whatever, placebo effect. But it wasn't until we did Everest that we had no muscle soreness. He did not get sick. And this is, for a whole month, we did not eat fruit and vegetables because we live on carbs and sugar really when you're trekking. So that was a massive turnaround point for me. And not to mention, I just got a wholesale account and didn't really know what that meant. But I got $400 in my account whilst I was on this mountain, not doing anything but having a great time, and realized, I shared it with a few people, and I had this person who wanted another wholesale account. Oh, you've got some money in your account. So, we got back and went, there's some serious, not just money, but there's this serious health that I need to share as a trainer with all my clients. So, and now, it's been, 18 months, just maybe nearly 20 months, and my skin is better than what it was when I was on the pill, and I was on the pill because of my skin. So, and so many other health benefits. So, that's my story really. So it's made it very easy to be able to share with people. I love the product. I absolutely love it. I've seen amazing results with my clients. So I guess with the business, as much as I can get really stuck on it, I'm just going to show you how easily it is to share the business. And the one thing, I'll go into the presentation now. The one thing that people, do, I guess, get their walls up when you first say, I've got this product, and they're like, is it network marketing? They think it's what we call a pyramid scheme or scam. So with a pyramid, if you look at it, first of all, pyramid schemes were made illegal in the 1970s. And if you're not sure what that is, let's say I'm going to do a cup. Love it. I bought a mug for $5, and then I sold it to Christine for $10, and Christine got a bit greedy and sold it to Natalie for $25, and then Natalie was like, right, Michael looks like a sucker, I might sell that to him for $40 because it's kind of gold plated. And here's Michael stuck with this beautiful non-real gold plated cup that he can now not pass on to anyone. So there was profit made by everyone bar Michael, which is highly illegal and not fair. So that's why they've made it illegal. when we look at the pyramid structure or the triangle structure, we really do live in that society. So whether it's our school structure, we have a principal all the way down to our naughty little rat bags in kindy. You look at Woolworths, you look at the churches, the, our massive corporations, our armies. So I'm going to draw a triangle. Aren't I lucky I went to school? Hope you can, it's a highlighter. Hang on, I'll get a pen. Okay, maybe you can see.
Yep.
Look, I can do a triangle, high 10 points. So with our triangle, we'd normally have the CEO at the top. So here's the big money maker. Here's the one that, or he or she, is making all the decisions that affects everyone down the bottom, but they're taking the big bucks home and the big money. So, we've got the CEO at the top, and then he has his head honchos. It might be the board of directors, and then we go into our state managers and regional managers, and we kind of filter all the way down to the bottom of someone who is, the frontline staff. It's whether the checkout person or the drive-through person, or the one that's really kind of having to deal with those customers and really deal with the bullshit of the day-to-day runnings of that business. So we look at the bottom of that triangle, that pyramid, and you've got to wonder, how often does the person on the checkout really become the CEO? And it is very minor, because there's only one CEO and there's only maybe 10 on board of directors, and there's a lot of frontline staff. So you might make it to a supervisor or a manager, store manager, but to be able to really work your way up, it really becomes quite hard and quite fierce to have to battle against people. There's fallouts, there's fighting, there's in-house bitchingness, and I'm sure we've all been there, right? Even in our sports. So what I loved about Juice Plus, and it took me a little while to understand, was it's actually in the reverse. It's actually an upside down triangle, a reverse triangle, which I'll now show you now. But I love to think of it, it's actually like a diamond. We all start at the bottom. We all start in this tiny little, area called the virtual franchise, where we have no idea what we're doing most of the time, but we all have the opportunity to actually reach the top of that pinnacle of our Juice Plus business, which is National Marketing Director. And we cannot get to that position without helping our team and actually helping others. So in traditional business, a lot of people, you walk over people to get to your promotion. Whereas in Juice Plus, it's completely different. You have to help, you must mentor, you must coach, and you must, give lots of hugs and love to help build other people up and build their businesses so they succeed, because that's the only way you can actually succeed in our business. So that's what I love to share about network marketing. People have this misconstrued idea that it's, you're getting rich because of my work. Well, no, we have to teach and we have to invest our time into our team to make sure that they're successful. Another worry of ours is when we get into, or we find with team, is I don't know anyone. I don't know enough people to have a successful business. Well, when I come into this business, I only knew Susie. So I'm going to do like this little circle. I'll just draw them all. So I only knew Suze when I first come into the business, and she was down, let's say she's here. And I got to then meet all my upline, or the people who actually supported me and come and did events, was Dee. There was Fee. There was Linda. I was meeting all my sideline buddies in completely different teams who had no monetary gain from helping me. But, I didn't know all of these people. I brought in, let's say Kiara. Kiara brought in Rachel, and Rachel's brought in Zach. So you kind of, not only are you building this business downline and reaching upline for help, you're meeting all these amazing people that you would never have probably come about overseas, interstate. You're growing your business wherever. So, and it's great that we can get together and, train over, things like Zoom, and you don't have to know a lot of people. It's just invite and have a few that you can nurture, and it just literally grows and takes off like wildflowers. So yeah, yay.
Great stuff, Candy. That was brilliant. Well done. You girls are on fire tonight. So I suppose from Jules and Candy's presentation and my own, you can see that we've all got the same message out there and it's the same structure, but our stories are different and the way that we present it is different. And there's nothing wrong with the way anybody presented. It's from the heart. You share your story first and no one can take that away from you. No one can question your story. And that's why your story is so powerful. We don't go out there making claims that, you know, people can grow their right arms back. But if you just go out there and share your story with people and what Juice Plus has done for you, and then when people come to you and say, oh, but what about my mum? Will it help with her diabetes, or will it help with, you know, this person's gout or whatever? The simple answer is we have no idea. We have no idea what it's going to do for people. But this is what it's done for me. This is what it's done for Nat. This is what it's done for Candy. And a lot of people go, oh, you know, I see them on Facebook and they go, oh, has anyone got any stories about, you know, curing eczema or curing diabetes or, you know, all that with Juice Plus? We don't have to be the expert, guys. It's just like, just be upfront and honest. Like, we're all made up differently biochemically, you know, at the cellular level. So honestly, we have no idea what it's going to do. We know what their studies say that it does at the cellular level, and that's what I love. I love knowing what it's actually doing in people's bodies. You know, having more energy and pooping better, sleeping better and all that is great, but it's what's going on at that cellular level that we should all be proud of. So yeah, so before we jump off, guys, does anyone else want to take this opportunity to share their story and have a go at doing the bit of the presentation? Also too, at this stage, if anyone wants to jump off, if you need to go to bed, I know some guys in New South Wales, it's getting sort of close to 20 to 10 there. Don't feel like you have to hang around. You've kind of got the gist for it now. And what we want to do now is over the next 7 days is practice. So practice on your kids, practice on your pillow in your bedroom, practice just doing the presentation, doing the triangles. I know it sounds silly, but the more you practice, the better you're going to be at it. And that's my number one goal, is to make sure that we're the best trained team in the world. And I think we can do that by being open and honest. And this is a safe environment where you can be a little bit silly. No one's going to judge you. It's about growing as a person and just getting outside your comfort zone. So if you need to jump off, feel free. But otherwise, does anyone else want to put their hand up and give it a crack tonight? We need some counting music. No one wants to put their hand up? All right, cool. Well, hopefully, guys, you've got a lot out of that first sort of business mock event tonight. This is recorded, so you can watch it back. There's also other recordings on the Team Spirit YouTube channel that actually run through and show you how to do each section of the business presentation as well. But I thought as a group, it's nice to hear each other's stories. So you've got some more testimonials there as well that you can use if you want to. And it's good to meet each other as well. So as Candy said, like, she's not even on our team. Neither is Mel. Mel's jumped off, but Mel's not on there. Susie was on there before. Those guys are all on a different team to us. But this is what I love about our business, is it doesn't matter. Like, we're all here to learn. We're all here to grow together, and we're all here to succeed with each other and push each other to be a better version of ourselves. And that's what I love. So thank you very, 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 very much for jumping on and being part of this. And hopefully, I'd love to hear your feedback about it as well. After we jump off, send me a message and let me know what you thought. So yeah, thanks, guys. Have an awesome night.
Excellent. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Christine.
Bye.
Thanks, Dan.